Welcome. Today we are going to talk about the art of buying low and selling high. And I call it an art because it is an art. Mistakenly, many people think that it has anything to do with math, whereas it really has nothing to do with math. It has everything to do with your ability to understand psychology. There, I said it. The markets move for one reason and one reason only, and that is the other market participants' psychology. So put in the comments if you are here on day one and you know your net worth. Put an N in the comments if you know your net worth. Is your net worth positive or your net worth negative? Put a C in the comments if you know your cash flow situation, if you're cash flow positive or cash flow negative. If you don't know these two, you are going to have to go watch the replay of my Mondays live. Then on day 2, we covered your financial goals. Your financial goals had to be measurable. How many points does it have? Your financial goals has to have 3 pillars. Some people call it SCREAM. It has to be measurable, believable to you, and have a deadline, right? So how many of you have already decided on your measurable financial goal that is going to help you understand what kind of investment strategy is going to be suitable to you? So again, on Facebook team, we have some impersonators saying I'm giving away Bitcoin. That is not me. That is not me. Please, absolutely. I can't block them. I don't know what they do that I can't block them. So that was your financial goals. And then on day 3, we talked about picking the right assets for you. Picking the right assets for your cash flow situation and for your risk tolerance. Now, how many of you have at least one asset that you are eyeing on? Aloha, Danny. How many of you already have one asset or maybe 5 assets that are suitable to your risk tolerance and financial goals? So put it in the comments. I want to read and see what assets you are considering to adding to your portfolio. Put in the comments the assets that you have decided to add to your portfolio. We're getting Apple, GE, JP. We are getting, let's see here on TikTok, what assets are you adding to your portfolio? We have Heather says Amazon, 3M, and Apple. Some people are saying I would offer that you invest in yourself instead. So you are the value asset as well. That is we would accept that. We have Google over here. We have MS. Is that the ClickFunnels 10M plaque on the wall? Yes, we finally got it on the wall. I got it actually about 3 months ago. Yes, our business has earned over 8 figures now, and it has been amazing. The reason why it's super amazing is that not only were able and fortunate enough to earn 8 figures, but I was capable of actually investing that money, and now my portfolio is growing. So that is why it is super cool. So we have JD, Alibaba, super cool. So today, team, we're going to talk about what price to buy your assets at. How many of you would like to know the techniques, the process of understanding the cheapest price to buying the asset that is, again, suitable to your risk tolerance? Put a yes in the comments if you would like to know the process of selecting the best price, the cheapest price to buy your asset. And if you are a swing trader, then you would probably be interested in knowing the best price to sell your favorite asset as well. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And what's super important about today's process is that one of the biggest problems with my students when they get into this, of course, a lot of TikTok gurus, they say, hey, timing the market is like voodoo, blah, blah, blah. And yes, it is true that timing the market is not as impactful than time in the market, especially if you're a value investor. But what I'm going to teach you today is not timing the market, it's pricing the market. And that is something that you can absolutely do. If you ask me, when is Bitcoin going to go to 100K? I'm going to tell you, I don't know. But if you ask me, how low do you think Bitcoin is going to go? I'm going to give you a range of possibilities. And of course, not all of the possibilities. This is all about probabilities, right? And that's why knowing your risk tolerance is super important, because once you know your risk tolerance, then you know which level is going to be suitable to you to aim for. Does that make sense? Put a yes in the comments if that makes sense to you. So I'm going to pause here a little bit. Yes, yes, yes. Facebook is so that I know Facebook doesn't even allow me to block the impersonators. Okay, team. So one of the things that you need to understand is that majority of people who are like, okay, I understand this, I want to go and learn the art of buying low and selling high, and then their brain immediately goes to math. They think they need to understand math in order to understand how to price the market. And the matter of the fact is that technical analysis has nothing to do with math. It has everything to do with your understanding of market psychology and then being able to identify the patterns. Patterns are where it's at, not only with investing, but also with your business, with the economy, with the world. Patterns are where it's at. And what I'm going to teach you about today is how to read patterns. How many of you have heard that history repeats itself? History repeats itself. But the matter of the fact is, history doesn't repeat itself. History rhymes. History rhymes. So if you have an artistic eye, that's why I call it the art of buying low and selling high. If you have an artistic eye and you're able to recognize these patterns, and you also know your risk tolerance, and you know your financial goals, and you know which asset is going to be suitable to you, and you're attending our 5-day live event on Monday, so you have enough money to invest, then, my friends, you are going to be golden. That is why it's called the art of buying low and selling high. That is why it has made me so much money. Of course, dollar cost averaging is great, but it is for lazy people. And it is for people who don't want to optimize their investments. And unfortunately, for dollar cost averaging, and you don't know your risk tolerance, if you don't know your financial goals, there's a very high chance that once there is a bump in the road, you're going to get emotional and you are going to make a mistake. How many of you have gotten emotional over your investments when the markets crash or when they go up? How many of you have ever made an investment based on emotions? Put an E in the comments if you've ever made an investment based on emotions. Anne says me, we have here on Facebook. Call me, Steve says E. So here's the thing. Even the boys of Wall Street oftentimes invest based on their emotions. The good boys of Wall Street, the seasoned investors, they place their investments and their strategies based on reading other people's emotions. And this is super powerful because this is the basic of money. Money is energy in motion, really. Money is energy. It goes up and down based on energy. It has value based on energy. Once you understand the principle of what money really is, which I'm going to go even deeper into in our 5-day live event that starts on Monday, your business is going to be better. You're going to be better with money. You're going to invest better. You're going to increase your income. All the good things are going to happen to you once you understand that money is energy in motion. So what we're going to do today is that we are going to learn how to identify the patterns of this energy in motion and use it to our advantage so that we have more money. And I trust that each and every one of you in this live are good people and are going to do good things with money. Put a G in the comments if you are pinky promising me with doing good with money. Because yes, money used in the wrong hands is horrible. So before I teach you how to make more money, how to become financially free, put a G in the comments if you promise me that you are going to use your money for good. If it's for the betterment of yourself, for the betterment of your family, pinky promise me that you're not going to use your money to fulfill your ego. Yeah? And you're going to use your money with compassion for the highest good. For yourself, it's okay to care about yourself. It's okay, that is not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. That's not what I mean. Using money horribly is when you use money to overcome your childhood trauma in a negative way by making other people suffer. Right? We all know those kind of people, right? Who use money to make other people suffer. So only say here if you're agreeing that you're going to use your money to elevate yourself and others. Put an E in the comments if you agree. You are going to use all the money that you are going to be making to elevate yourself and others. Is it good to buy a house? Does buying a house make you feel good? Does buying a house do any harm to anybody else? Buying a house is probably going to make somebody else money. So they want to sell their house and you're buying their house. You have a home. They made some money. So yeah, buying a house is absolutely a good thing. Now, if you're buying a house to get some underage women and smuggle them there, then no, that is not a good thing. It all depends on how you use things, right? So good. It's financially not smart to give so much. It really all depends. It depends on your mission, on what you're doing, right? Giving, like I don't like the word giving back. Like I don't think the world owes me anything that I need to give back. But yes, I do give to charity. I give the most amount. Like the people who came here to put these awards up yesterday, like I had already paid them and they were late and they actually didn't really. One of them was, I didn't like one of them and the other one was really, really good. So on top of the humongous amount that they charged me for putting these awards up, I gave them a tip, a really, really generous tip. Because I felt like it. Right? I wasn't giving back anything to them. I didn't owe them anything, but I felt like putting money in the hands of somebody who is working, who's putting their time, the time that they could have been spending with their friends and family, to come and put up some stuff up using their muscle. It is not a scalable business, so I tip. Anytime I see somebody who is putting their time over their muscle in a business that is not scalable, I give them a big, as long as they do their job well, I give them a generous tip. And thank God that I have the money to do that. Skyward saying, pay them to hang the awards next time. Plumbing. My husband was actually pretty pissed off that I did that. You know what? He would have 100% done it before me. But I decided that, you know what? No, I prefer that on a Friday, he spends time with my daughter instead of hanging these stuff up. I think that was a very good use of my money. And that's why I gave those people a tip, because I was taking away the time from their family. Now, of course, it's their job. They were already grateful for having that job. But I felt that was the right thing to do. Jose says, Kiana, I have never seen you in live. I'm a hero fan. You're the smartest investor who has been able to give the best life to her baby daughter. I admire you. I wish to be able to live the same way. Team, thank you so much for your kind words. And that's why I'm here. Because I was fortunate enough to figure out the ways. And I think it is my responsibility to pass it on only to people who are going to be great stewards of the skills that I teach them. Jonathan is asking a very good question. We still haven't gone to the art of buying low and selling high. This is a great question. Jonathan is asking on TikTok. Question: when do you think you feel you have made enough? That is such a good question. So, and I love the fact that you ask, when do you feel that you've earned enough? Because for the longest time, I thought if I ever make $7 million, that's it. I'm going to retire. I'm going to go. Now, all of you guys know that I've made $10 million and above. My net worth is at $7 million, but I'm still working. So what's going on? So one thing is your feeling about how much you want to earn. The other one is your financial freedom number. How many of you know your financial freedom number? Put an F in the comments if you'd like me to teach you your financial freedom number. Your financial freedom number is the amount that you need to have in your investment portfolio so that you never have to work ever again. You can basically go ahead and take money out every single year. 4% of that amount is going to pay for your lifestyle, and then the rest of it can continue growing, and therefore you are currently financially free. For me and for my lifestyle, that number used to be $5 million. And the way that you calculate it is what we talked about on Monday, is once you know what your expenses are on a monthly or an annual basis, and then you add in your vacations and everything that you want to do in your life on a monthly basis, you take that number and divide it by 0.04, and boom, you get your financial freedom number. Now, I am content with what I have. I can do whatever I want to do. If I want to hire a nanny, I go hire a nanny. If I want to go to a restaurant, I go to a restaurant. I don't look at the prices when I order. That was so liberating for me, because how many of you, when you go to a restaurant, you pick your food based on the price? Like, you look at the price first. Put it in the comments if when you go to a restaurant or where you go shopping, when you go to buy a dress for yourself, the first thing you do is that you look at the price. Put it in the comments if that is you. That was me. I used to make all of my buying decisions based on the price. So somebody's asking, how did your lifestyle change? One of the most liberating things was that I no longer look at the price. I no longer look at the price. If I want to hire a coach, and I know that that coach is going to help me get to the place that I want to get to, I don't even ask them how much it is. They just send me an email, so I'm like, yep, done. It has been so liberating. And one of the things that I did to get to this place is that I actually, before I had money, I started training myself to stop worrying about the price so much. And the most responsible way to do that is only spend money on things that are an investment in you. Does that make sense? So, of course, I don't go on buy stupid shit, right? I don't go buy private jet. I mean, it may not be stupid. At some point, I may actually buy a private jet as long as it's an investment. I know that there's going to be a measurable reward to it. But the way that I train myself to become the kind of person who can handle millions and millions of dollars, $10 million, was that I trained myself that whenever the return on investment was understandably higher than any amount that I would be investing, I wouldn't care about the price. Like the first coach that I hired, and the promise was that he's going to teach me how to make $1 million, and I didn't care about the price. I'm like, I'm in. It was $30,000. I'm like, don't care. Now, for my relationship, for my personal growth, for my spirituality, I don't even care. Like if somebody can help me get to a higher spiritual level, I don't care how much they charge me. Right? So that has been very financially liberating. Now, how many of you would like to get to a place that you don't care about the price? How many of you would like to get to a place that you no longer care about the price? Put a yes in the comments. Oh, thank you for all the beautiful compliments here in the chat box. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the process of buying low and selling high in the online financial markets. There are different kinds of investments, right? And there are different purposes for investments. When I'm investing in myself, I don't care about the price because all I care about is to save time. When I'm investing in the stock market, when I'm investing in the cryptocurrency market, all I care about is managing my emotions so that I can actually give it time. Does that make sense? And the process that I'm about to show you, the patterns, majority of the books that you would pick up on technical analysis or market sentiment analysis kind of show you the same patterns over and over again, double top, double bottom, blah, 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 blah. But one thing, and that is a lie. Somebody's commenting on my breasts and asking if there are implants. Not that is any of your business, but because I do choose to be feminine in my appearance and talking about money, they are real, but I am using a Victoria's Secret push-up bra. So there you have it. So they're not as big as they appear in real life. All right. Now get your minds off my breasts and let's talk about money. When you are looking at the chart patterns on so the first thing you're going to need when it comes to market sentiment analysis is a chart. And one of the best tools that I love using when it comes to creating the investment strategies. People are now laughing at how I handle that. Is called tradingview.com. So I'm going to go ahead and log into tradingview.com. Tradingview.com has some of the best tools when it comes to technical analysis. And then what you're going to do is that you're basically going to go ahead and search for the asset that all of you put in before. We talked about asset picking 2 days ago, so you guys already have your assets handy. So go ahead and search for that asset on tradingview.com. Now, some of my best claims to fame are using Fibonacci and Ichimoku when it comes to technical analysis, but today I'm not going to show you those because for that, I'm going to have to show you my charts, and it is going to be very hard because I'm live right now on Instagram and on TikTok and on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. It is going to be hard to share the screen with everybody. So I'm going to show you the actual essence of why even technical analysis works, why market sentiment analysis works. How many of you would like to know why technical analysis works? Put a T in the comments if you'd like to know why technical analysis works. Technical analysis works because everybody else also look at it. That's why. And the chart pattern analysis works because it basically is showing the rhythm in the market. And for every asset, it's different. So for example, if you have a growth asset like Apple, every time somebody's like, okay, what do you feel about Tesla? What do you feel about Apple? What do you feel about Bitcoin? The way that I do the technical analysis for each of these assets is different. I'm going to give you an example. I believe the other day, one of the big stocks did a split. Is it Tesla? Did Tesla split? Somebody split. And one of my $1 Million Family Accelerator students was asking me, okay, what am I going to do on the day that they split? How is it going to impact it? And so she was expecting me to go and do a technical analysis or give her a general answer or look at Tesla's chart. Look at Tesla's chart to tell her how low it can go, how high it can go. But that's not what I did. What I did is that I thought, and this is what you need to do when it comes to figuring out, when it comes to pattern analysis, when it comes to identifying patterns, whether it's patterns in the seasons, patterns in the economy, patterns in your relationship with your spouse. You want to pick a category. So I'm like, okay, you want to know what will happen to Tesla when it splits. I'm going to go look at Tesla. I'm going to look at other stocks in a similar category that already have split. And I'm going to see what happened to them on the day that they split. So we went ahead and we searched Apple stock split, Google stock split, Amazon stock split, Shopify stock split. These are all tech companies, and so is Tesla. And then we went ahead and we searched on Google the date of their stock split. And then we analyzed to see if there is a pattern that happens every time a stock splits. My nephew Adriel is here, team, on TikTok. Go ahead and give Adriel Baruchim a follow. He's my brilliant nephew who just got bar mitzvah in Israel. Right? I do need a moderator. That is absolutely true. Danny says, I need technical analysis on my stats. No, it's true. Like, that's what I'm doing right now, like, with myself. Like, I'm trying to figure out my own emotions and like all the trauma. So as many of you guys know, I have now recently started a spiritual journey to figure out myself. Now that I've got the money, I can get the help to figure out myself. And it has been absolutely amazing. And one of the things that I do is I'm categorizing the patterns that I've had with my relationships, the patterns that I've had with, guilt, because that is one of the big things with me, the patterns I've had with people pleasing, the patterns I've had. So I have all these categories and I'm putting them into categories. I'm doing literally technical analysis on myself. And that's the same thing you can do on the stock market. This is all connected. This is all science, and all science applies to every segment of the universe, right? So that's how I analyzed the Tesla stock split. And that's how you can analyze any other price action in the market. So I am going to give you some examples. I'm not going to get super deep into Other terms of technical analysis, I talk about them in our Make Your Money Work For You Power course and in all of my books. Again, today, I wanted to give you the essence so that you can go and do it yourself. You can go and do it and figure it out because, again, this is an art. And based on your artistic eye, you may have a different feeling about the market. Here's an interesting question. Somebody asked me, will the markets be dropping even more on Monday? So now that I gave you the essence of market analysis, of price action analysis, of pattern analysis. So Paul, you asked me this question. Why would the market, like what is a trigger that could get the market drop even further? And of course, every asset is going to be different. One of the things that you need to go and look at is to see, I believe, again, I don't check my investment portfolio that often. I checked it last Wednesday and that was it. I'm not going to check it again until the Wednesday after next. I check it every 2 weeks. But one way to know if the markets are going to drop even further is to see, go to a chart, grab the S&P 500 chart, or maybe it's a specific asset that you want to look at, and see that where it is in its journey, where it is in its pattern. All of us know that currently we are on a correction period, in the winter period. Things are slowing down, right? And there are some bumps in the road. The market is always going to be, in a micro level, is always going to be going up and down. But if you look at the big picture, if you go to the monthly chart, I want to always recommend that you look at the monthly chart to get a hold of the big picture, especially if you are a long-term value investor, right? If you're a long-term value investor, you want to take a look at the monthly chart. In fact, here on YouTube, I am going, and Facebook and LinkedIn, I am going to share my screen. One moment. So this is the Apple chart. And maybe for team here on Instagram and TikTok, I'm also going to do this. I'm going to bring this here. We have two. Things are falling. Things are falling. All right, let's see. If I do this, why is my husband driving? Hold on one second. How do I? You should be able to see this chart right now on Instagram. And let's see, for TikTok, I'm going to show you an Apple chart. If I can, there must be a way to flip. There was a way. I don't know how to. There must be a way to flip it. There apparently isn't a way to flip. All right. So on TikTok, click enhance and it will give you the option to flip camera. Okay. Enhance, pause settings. This is interesting. Okay, what I'm going to do, I know you guys see me. I want to see you guys. I want to show you guys my chart. All right, I'm going to explain what I'm seeing because here on the rest of the social media, they're actually seeing the chart. Whoops. Instagram fell. Okay, so you guys, this is the Apple chart. And as you can see, the Apple stock price in the long term has generally just gone up, up, and up, hasn't it? Right? But you can also see that every few years it has reached a peak. Every few years, it has reached a peak, a peak, a peak, a peak, a peak. And every time after a peak, it has been followed by a drop. And if you actually measure this drop, you're going to notice that this drop is typically exactly at the same percentage. I use Fibonacci retracement levels to analyze and to see the patterns and to gauge and rate the patterns. And for Apple specifically, these drops has typically been towards the 50% and 61% Fibonacci retracement levels. So if somebody asks me about Apple and it's like, hey, Kiana, what's happening with Apple? How low do you think the price is going to go? I'm going to first go and take a look at the history of the Apple chart and see what is the Apple chart pattern. What's its rhythm? Because Apple's rhythm is different than Tesla's rhythm, and is different than cryptocurrency, Bitcoin's rhythm, and each and every one of them have their own unique identity. So you can't just go and do technical analysis, like generally say, hey, double top or double bottom, or all these general things that you can apply. They sometimes do work, and the reason why they work is because all of the boys of Wall Street are also looking at the same thing. But to become a really good technical analyst, it's better to look at each asset separately and see what their rhythm is like. Does that make sense? Put a Y in the comments if this makes sense. So for example, this last time I did this analysis for it, it reached this high, and then yes, all we know is that it again dropped to another 50% Fibonacci retracement level. When I do technical analysis, this is the first thing that I do. And what happens is that from here, where majority of traders are either panic selling or boys of Wall Street are doing their short selling. And by the way, this is the reason why this is not a zero-sum game, because there are a lot of people who actually benefit from the markets dropping. Those are the people who are short selling the market. And if you are the kind of person who is buying what they're selling, then both of you win. Both of you win. Right? And then to optimize my technical analysis, I use some other magic tricks, such as Ichimoku, such as the golden cross, and some moving averages. But my most favorite of them all is Fibonacci, because it shows you the percentage and it allows you to really measure the rhythm, measure the chart pattern. So these are some of the ways that I have been able. I'm gonna try and show TikTok what I'm doing here as well, if you guys can see. So these are some of the ways that I have been able to buy low using Fibonacci and then sell high. I no longer do swing trading, but when I used to do that, this is how I did it. Hope that was helpful. We are going to stop the share, okay, and we're going to flip this one. Oh, look at me, flipping. All right, team. So that was the simple overall process of how to even consider what to think about when you're conducting technical analysis, when you're trying to figure out the direction of the market. The first step is to understand the category, understand the triggers. So what could be triggering? And then if you're like, okay, it's the Fed. If you're the type of investor that invests based on the Fed's results, which by the way, I recommend that you don't do that, because that is going to turn you into an emotional trader, an emotional investor. But if you were to do that, the way to do it is to go and see historically, every time the Fed had says this, these kind of assets have reacted this way. And once you have enough samples, then you have a pattern. Once you have three makes a pattern. 3 samples is enough for you to understand the pattern. When you're looking at Bitcoin, the reason why when Bitcoin started dropping from $60,000, I said it's going to drop to $22,000, $17,000, and potentially $12,000. The reason why I chose those prices wasn't because I'm Nostradamus, wasn't because I'm just some sort of a genius. No, it's simply because I looked at Bitcoin's pattern, and Bitcoin is very volatile. And when it drops a lot more than the Apple, right? But it typically drops at the same rate. So I applied my Fibonacci, and I went all the way back to 2011. Because Bitcoin, even though, like right now we know about it, but even back in the day when Bitcoin was $11, it would go up to 1,000 and then drop. And then this pattern has been going on ever since Bitcoin has been invented. So I look at all the patterns. I point out all of the peaks, and then I see when it drops, how much does it drop? And it gives me an average, or at least 3 levels. And then because my risk tolerance is medium, I set all 3 of the limit orders to purchase, and then I go about my day. Like, I haven't checked my Bitcoin portfolio for, I want to say, 3 months. I have just set buy limit orders, and they have been going through. My last one has not yet gone through. And that's it. That's why I'm able to focus on my business and let my money work for me on the background. That is the point of investing in online financial markets, at least to me, is to make your money work for you, not work your butt off for money. I'd rather spend my time creating value for you guys, creating value for the people that I care about who are my customers, or spend time with my family, or make more money through my business, and then let my money have babies on the background. Yes, Fibonacci retracement is Fibonacci. Let's see what is interact. Okay, I'm gonna answer some of your questions right now. Eve Lissy is asking, is interactive brokers good? Yes, it's fine. I think they do cost a tiny bit of a commission fee. For that reason, I prefer TD Ameritrade, but they're okay. I do have an investment account with them. Nimi Shamita is asking, when you set a buy limit order and the order is executed, don't you need to go in and set another order? So this is the beauty of it. You can set multiple buy limit orders. And then, yes, I do check my investment portfolio every other week. And yes, I can guess where things are going to go. I anticipate, and I set my buy limit orders. And then in 2 weeks, I go in to see how things are progressing, right? I set 3 buy limit orders typically at a time, especially for assets that I really, 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 really want in my portfolio. Yes, I have sold $10 million worth of my courses. And team, I want to read one of the testimonials that day. Like, this is what so here's the thing. Have you ever heard that your opinion on others is basically a reflection of what you think about yourself? So every time somebody tells me, oh, you're just in it for the money, What do you think? Why do you think that is? That they think that I only do my work for the money and I'm not creating any value for anybody. Why do you think that is? That those kind of people think that way? That there's no way that there is possibly another reason why that I could be doing what I'm doing, and yes, in the meantime, also making money. It's probably because all they care about is money. It's interesting because people who pretend that they don't care about money, all they think about is actually money. All they think about is money. They make all of their decisions based on money. And I used to be one of those as well. And yes, I have made $10 million worth $10 million by selling our flagship power course. And we have changed the lives of so many people. I want to read this testimonial from a single mom that I just saw. She wrote it today. I'm wondering if I can find it here, but here you go. I'm going to actually show it to you guys here on Instagram and also on Facebook. I'm going to share it over here, and I'm going to also share it on TikTok as well. So this is what she wrote. She wrote, here you go, TikTok, you can see. This is what she wrote. She wrote, this reminded me of Kiana Danielle. Thank you, Kiana, for standing behind number 2. So the quote that she quoted is this. I swear the universe can be divided into 2 kinds of people. Number 1, I had to go through it, so you should too. Number 2, I had to go through it, so I'll work to make sure you don't. So what she's writing is, thank you, Kiana, for standing behind number 2. I'm so thankful I found your course when I did. Please add me to the list of single moms whose life you have truly changed forever. Not to leave out the men, but much love to women supporting women. So yes, this is why I do what I do. And yes, I have made $10 million doing it. And now what I'm doing is that I'm teaching you how to do the same thing. If there is something that you can do to help others to make their lives better, do it and make money and help them out. Like, I am so glad that Apple did everything in their power to sell me their iPhone. Because without it, I wouldn't be able to go live. I have 2 of them here in front of me right now, one for TikTok, one for Instagram. And you guys wouldn't be able to see me. And we wouldn't have been able to communicate. They sold me something, and I'm so happy that they did. And yes, I am selling my knowledge, all of my trial and error, all of the things, all of my heartbreak. And I'm hoping that I can help somebody else not go through the same mistakes. And now with our live event that is coming up on Monday, Start Building Your Wealth, my goal is to teach you how to get this. And then increase your income, make millions of dollars so that you can invest more. So this award over here, this is what we give to our students. This is the Millionaire Diva Award. So once you have $1 million in your portfolio, because this one is only making, this is gross income. Obviously we make $10 million, but that doesn't mean that that's the amount that I got to keep. I had to pay taxes. I had paid so much money to Facebook. I had a team of 20 people that I pay. So I have made a gross $10 million, but that's not how much I've kept. But if you make that much money and then you have in your investment portfolio, that is your financial freedom. There are many people who have this award from ClickFunnels, or even the other award that is on my other end. Some of you guys can see this is the Millionaire Award. So I've made 10 million. But they're broke because they made the money, but then they spend they spent all of it. And they end up with no money at all. Tony says, I invest in you, Kiana. I would assign to you to invest in yourself. I would be more than happy to help you invest in yourself. And if you think that I'm the person who has achieved what you want to achieve, I am here to help you. That is my goal. That is my calling. I want to help good people have money because money is power. If you're a good person, you are going to do good things with money. And I'd much rather have the money in the hands of good people than people who have some childhood trauma who are working through it and are taking out their trauma on other people. That's why I'm so passionate about helping women have more money, because they are mothers. And all of our childhood trauma, the way that we are right now, has a lot to do with the way that our moms were. And if they didn't have control, there's a very high likelihood that their kids got impacted. So if moms have money, if they are in a good place, if they are taken care of, the next generation of children are going to be taken care of. So we may have better people in the world. So that's why I do what I do. All right, team, we have been on for about 50 minutes. This is my shameless advertisement over here. Team, this event is going to change your lives. We are starting on Monday. I'm going to teach you exactly how I not only made $10 million in my business, but I also got to how can I show it? This is when I reached $1 million in my portfolio, but my portfolio is actually $5 million after all the taxes and everything. It is actually growing, and it is actually a significant amount when you compare it to other entrepreneurs. So if you want to learn how to increase your income, how to invest your income, how to create an impact, how to break your generational curse, then go to wealthdiva.com. The link is in my bio. Link is in my bio in TikTok. Link is in my bio on Instagram. And on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, I believe the link is in the description. It's wealthdiva.com. Register your seat, guys. We're going on Monday. We don't have that many more seats left. And invest responsibly, team. Have an amazing, amazing night.